Hello, BookTube. Who's up for a little more mail? It's Tuesday, and after the psychic roller coaster ride of yesterday's mail, where I got no Spidey sense going off, and yet the final book in what looked like a lackluster collection was something that was exactly in my wheelhouse. So I don't know what to expect this time around, because this time around we have a whole basket full of stuff, and my mailman did it once again. I have a new mailman, This is not the mailman, the guy who carries around a sack on his back. He'll come later today. This is the guy who drives the truck, and it's a new guy that I don't know, and he is a ninja. It's incredible. I have been here at Hyde Cottage all day with the bean, as you can see in the background, and I've been sorting and organizing. I'm trying to deal with the depths of Mordor. Again, they have my little hutch of books is overgrown with crapola. I'm trying to deal with it all, and I'm out and about, and here in the place, and I thought, well, okay, he rings the bell when he has a lot to drop off, so there's a chance that you'll be able to hurry out and talk to him, see him, hand him all of the empty tubs that you've been getting. And it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening for hours. And then I thought, well, I want to take a shower. No big deal. I take the fastest showers anywhere in the world. 5 minutes total, including showering, including drying off. The whole thing takes 5 minutes total from start to finish. So I figured, what are the odds? And of course, I'm in the shower. I'm in the middle of a second verse of a Broadway show tune when the doorbell rings. The one time when I couldn't bolt to the door. And, of course, by the time I got there, he was gone. So I have yet another one of these things that I have to add to the pile out in the hallway. But I have twinges here and there of Spidey senses for some of these books, but I have no idea how to predict them because yesterday was a bust at predicting. So we're just going to go through these blind. We'll just go through them blind. It ends in 3 boxes, but we'll get to those. We'll save those for the end. So we'll just finish this whole mail tub. Hi, Bean. Oh, what have you got there? Huh? What have you got there? Huh? Oh, everybody commented that they can hear you destroying things. Oh, okay. All right. I imagine that a lot of these will be February releases. And I just redid my books. My work shelf out in the other room is organized. Shelf by shelf is month by month for 2019. And the top shelf is the current month. And when I get within a week of the end of the month, I figure that's at most 7 books for Open Letters Review, the online literary journal where I do a lot of my reviewing. So I pick the 7 that I absolutely want to review. I don't always get to them all. And that leaves me with the rest that I just clear off, one way or another. You keep it, sort it, give it away, that sort of thing. And when that shelf is empty, that top shelf, then I move everything else up. And once I've moved it up, so once February's up on that top shelf the way it is now, then I go through it. I prune out the stuff that I'm absolutely not going to review. No chance. I prune out the stuff that I'm going to send away to people, to potential freelancers to review. And then when I've got all the rest that's left, then I organize it left to right according to day of the month that the book is released. So the 4 release dates in February. I organize it that way so that I can just look at a glance what's coming up, and this is one of those books, is what I was going to say. That was a long way of saying this is one of those books. This is the finished copy of Barb Berman's Earth-Shattering. The violent supernovas, galactic explosions, biological mayhem, nuclear meltdowns, and other hazards to life in our universe. And by life in our universe, the author means life on Earth. Because there is no other life, as far as we know, anywhere. Anywhere in a thing that's hundreds of billions of light years across. As far as we know, we're the only life. So a lot of this book is light. A lot of it is jocular, in a way. It's a very informative book. But the subtitle of Life in the Universe kind of gives away a little bit of the conceptual vagueness that plagues the book from beginning to end. So it's really, really enjoyable, but that you will notice that. You will notice that. You also notice that this author is not precisely picky about the nature of some of his earth-shattering disasters. Some of them are completely natural, but the whole suite of things that are connected to mankind are not natural. Nuclear meltdowns are not natural. They don't happen outside of the sun. They don't happen. They're not supposed to happen on the surface of the planet. Same thing with warming oceans and superstorms that will go hand in hand with warming oceans. But it's a really, really fun book. As far as attention-grabbing popular science, it was really, really fun. And it comes out at the end of February, I believe. Yes, the end of February. So it goes on that workshop, the aforementioned workshop. Let's see what we have here next. That, I think, was the only manila envelope. All the rest of these are cardboard of one kind or another. A little bean. I was doing my own thing earlier today out in the other room. I was cleaning. I was trying to clean Mordor. I should really film that so that I share the misery. I was trying, at least preliminarily, to clean it. You can't get anywhere near it now. Can't get anywhere near the back recesses of it because it's just piled with garbage. I was starting with that, and Frida was sitting on the couch looking out at the world, and then all of a sudden I felt a change in the air, and I turned around to the little bean, and she was stiff-legged on the couch staring at me because she had decided, she had just taken it into her head to decide that she wanted to tussle. 10 pounds. All of 10 pounds. She decided she wanted to tussle. So we spent the next half hour tussling. But I think she's over that now. So what do we... Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Ooh, boy, look at this. Pub sheets as big as the book. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, so there's a New York Times review. I don't need that. This is by Davide Enia, and it is Notes on a Shipwreck, a story of refugees, border, and hope. And this is one of those lovely finished trade paperbacks. So this is what it will look like, and it will just be for sale for $17. There won't be any hardcover of it. And this is an author he wrote a novel called On Earth as It Is in Heaven that I really, really liked. And I really, really like this book, too. This book proved to me that it's just his writing talent that I like, not a stroke of luck for his novel, and not subject matter or setting. I think he could write about pretty much anything, and I would love it. And look at this, on the pub sheet, they took the expedient of reprinting the entire Kirkus review because it was that positive. Wow. Okay, so this comes out in late February as well. And it is a heart-wrenching first-hand account of devastating migrant shipwrecks on the remote island of Lampedusa, part of the world's deadliest migration route. Adding to the canon of indelible narratives of the experience of deportation, Notes on a Shipwreck embodies the spirit of Primo Levi's If This Is a Man, expanding our views of human nature and power. In a moment of heightened restriction on refugees around the world, one in which the Trump administration has imposed a travel ban, lobbied for a wall along the Mexico-United States border, and lambasted they didn't actually lobby for a wall. They crossed their arms, stomped their feet, and demanded one. Lobbying might have worked. They didn't actually lobby for a wall. Lobbying is an adult tactic, and that no adult tactics have been used with Trump's racist wall. And lambasted incoming asylum seekers as dangerous invaders. I hope you will consider this timely book that gives voice to the human beings caught in the middle, too often becoming statistics. And the author goes through stories like that, and you would think that it would be hard going, and it is. But boy, oh boy, he is such a fantastic writer. He knows how to tell these stories in a way that will harrow your heart without any sentimentality at all. Just fantastic. Great. I didn't know this. I didn't actually know that this was going to come out as a paperback original. That's even more intriguing. Okay, so this comes out in late February. The pub sheet, of course, foreshadows the approach that any reviewer will take to this. Although, I wonder how many people will review it. Review editors usually disparage paperbacks, even paperback originals. I don't understand that. I really don't. It's a price point that it's at least a little bit closer to what a person might be willing to pay for an unknown quantity. But nevertheless, I've seen it time and time again in journal after journal that a lot of editors will just, if it's a paperback original, they just dismiss it from consideration for review. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope this gets this reviewed, but that pub sheet gives you a foreshadowing of what those reviews will, the tack they will probably take. This is a hot button book. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be a human drama, but it can't help but be because of the rampant xenophobia in the United States, where there's a racist wall that the racist president wants to put up on the southern border. By far the bigger immigration crisis on the northern border, but he doesn't care about Canadians at all. They look just the way he wants Americans to look. But not only that, but as the pub sheet mentioned, his administration, full of racists, has been trying really hard to eliminate or crack down on asylum seekers, on people who are bombed out of their homes or chased out by violent drug cartels and are seeking hope. They're seeking a place to come, like all of our ancestors did in this country. And not only that, but also the racist core members of the racist Trump administration want to eliminate immigration to America. It's not just illegal immigration, and it's not just asylum seekers. They want no one to come in anymore except people from Swiss countries. So and that being such a hot button issue and going nowhere, that issue is going nowhere. It's a non-issue, but it's going nowhere. I have a feeling that anybody that does review this book is going to hobble it to the news, and that is not an optimal way, in my opinion, of reviewing a book. Sometimes your editor will insist on it, but I always think that it sells the book short. But let's see what this next one is. It's in one of these vacuum pack things, so you have to tear the package to little shreds to open the book, because the inside of the package, I can't show it to you on camera because I can't do textures on camera, but the inside of the package is adhesive. Inside is adhesive. So even once you've torn it to pieces like a bear in a zoo, you still have to keep going because the book is stuck to the inside of the package. So now that we've done that, now that we have completely destroyed the package, we had to completely destroy the package to get at the book. Let's see what the book is. Okay, this comes out at the end of January. This is a romance novel. Very nice. This is the first in a new series by Laura Lee and Veronica Chadwick, and it's called One Tough Cowboy. Boy, oh boy. That's when you know you're dealing with a young person. My old fingers, if I put a sheriff's star through a t-shirt like that, I guarantee you there'd be bloodshed. This is the first in a brand new series. It's a collaboration. Don't see that often in romance novels. You see anthologies with 3 different people writing in the same time period, but an actual collaboration, I don't see that. It delves into one man's pursuit of justice and unbridled desire. This story features 2 childhood sweethearts realizing their fiery passion that they have for one another, but not without the consequences of potential heartbreak amidst tragedy. I hope that refers to our 2 main characters and not our collaborators. For as long as Samantha can remember, Hunter, it's always Hunter, it's not Fergus, a man strong as steel with a heart of gold, has been her hero. It came as no surprise to Samantha when she found out that the ranch-hardened cowboy who also protected her from bullies went on to become the town sheriff. What does surprise her is how incredibly hot he still is, and how much she still wants him. Why would it surprise her that he's still hot? Hotties don't tend to dim. Well, anyway, this comes out in the end of January, just a days from now, so I can get to it right away. All right, let's move on. Wow, a romance novel. That's great. And Davide Enia, who's also great. All right, what have we got next here? Oh no. Oh no. Well, you gotta. Okay. I gotta give the people at St. Martin's credit because they aren't letting up on this. I got the sequel to this book. I got the original book. And I reviewed it, and my review was not kind. And then I got the sequel, despite that fact. And now I got the paperback of the original book, so maybe I'll give it another read. This is by Michael Moresi, and it's Black Star Renegades. This is the paperback of Black Star Renegades. And the pub sheet said, this came out on January 15th. The pub sheet said it's in the tradition of Star Wars. I will leave a link to my review so that you know how I think of what it was in the tradition of Star Wars. Cade Sura holds the future of the galaxy in his hands. The ultimate weapon that will bring total peace. You could almost say he's the chosen one. He didn't ask for it. He doesn't want it. And there's no worse choice to wield it in all of space. Almost like he was some sort of podunk from a backwater planet. But if he doesn't, everyone is totally screwed. The evil Praxis kingdom, might even call Praxis an empire, is on the cusp of having every star system under its control. Maybe some sort of roving space station that's a weapon. Fear. Keep the outer systems in line. And if that happens, there'll be no contesting their cruel reign, especially if its fanatical overlord, Ga Hale, manages to capture Cade and snag the all-powerful weapon for herself. So Cade has to embrace his destiny. I will give it another try. If St. Martin's is nice enough to send me a copy, I will give it another try. All right, let's move on here. I can't believe I got Black Star Renegades again. Oh my. Well, that's good. I love the folks at St. Martin's, so that's fine by me. Let's see. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, very nice. Okay. This is also a February book. This is the Finnish copy of Yangshi Chu's The Night Tiger. Lovely thing. And another historical novel, a high-profile historical novel for 2019. 1930s colonial Malaysia. Young Ji Lin would rather do anything other than work in the town dance hall where the men pay by the song. But she is determined to pay off her mother's mahjong debts. One night, her hand slips into the pocket of a dance partner who is just a little bit too friendly and closes around a smooth cylinder with a gruesome souvenir inside. It just might be the key to the adventure she has always been longing for. New York Times best-selling author Yangshi Chu evokes the Chinese folklore of shapeshifters and the sharp class and race divides of colonial Malaysia in her sweeping, spellbinding second novel about a dance hall girl and an orphan boy whose fates are bound together. It comes out in the middle of February, and I have had the advanced copy, but I have not read it. And I mean to. I definitely mean to. I want to get to all of the historical fictions coming out in 2019, even though that makes no sense. There's no way that I can do that. I still want to do it. Not just all of the mainstream stuff like this. This is Flatiron books, but all of the self-published stuff too. I want to read all the historical fiction in 2019, all of it. So, all right, let's dig around here. Oh, now we get to the boxes. Great. Okay, let's see what box number 1 is. Do you want a box, Beanerino? Are you up for a box? Yes? All right, what have we got here? Okay, this is also a February book. This comes out in late February. This is from Princeton University Press, great academic press. And this is by J.C. Sharman, and it's called Empires of the Weak, the real story of European expansion and the creation of the New World Order. Empires of the Weak. What accounts for the rise of the state? The creation of the first global system and the dominance of the West. The conventional answer asserts that superior technology, tactics, and institutions forged by Darwinian military competition gave Europeans a decisive advantage in war over other civilizations from the 1500 onward. In contrast, Empires of the Weak argues that the Europeans actually had no general military superiority in early modern era. The author shows instead that European expansion from the late 15th century to the early 18th century is better explained by deference to strong Asian and African polities, disease among the Americas, and maritime supremacy earned by default because local land-oriented polities were largely indifferent to war and trade at sea. Europeans were overawed by the mighty Eastern empires of the day, which pioneered key military innovations and were the greatest early modern conquerors. Against the view that the Europeans won for all time, Sharman contends that the imperialism of the late 19th and early 20th century was a relatively transient and anomalous development in the world that concluded with Western losses in various insurgencies. If the 21st century is to be dominated by non-Western powers like China, this represents a return to the norm for the modern world. Fascinating. Okay, well, I don't think you're going to convince me, but I want you to try now. That is fascinating. Wow. A non-Western dominated world, this author says, is a return to normal. And that what we think of as the rise of the West was an anomaly. Oh, that is interesting. All right, okay, let's move on. We have another one here. The bean is steadily involved with the first box, so she's not going to want this one. Oh, she does want this. Oh, Bean, you are so greedy. Oh. Frida, maybe you want to stick to an envelope. No? All right, this next one is also from Princeton. Also a February release. This is by Yael Tamir, and it is Why Nationalism? Why nationalism? Around the world today, nationalism is back, and it's often deeply troubling. Off to a rocky start. It's not nationalism that is back. Nationalism never went away. Nationalism, being proud of your country, being glad to be a member of your country, never went away. Nationalism has not made a comeback. Fascism has made a comeback. And if you equate those two things, you do nobody any favors. But let's see here. Populist politicians exploit nationalism for authoritarian, chauvinistic, racist, or xenophobic purposes, reinforcing the view that it is fundamentally reactionary and anti-democratic. But the author, a leading member of the Israeli Left Labour Party, makes a passionate argument for a very different kind of nationalism, one that revives its participatory, creative, and egalitarian virtues, answers many of the problems caused by neoliberalism and hyper-globalism, and is essential to democracy at its best. In this book, she explains why it is more important than ever for the left to recognize these qualities of nationalism, to reclaim it from right-wing extremists, and to redirect its power to progressive ends. Okay, so this is a political book. Those of you who are in Israel, is this person? Is this the equivalent of if an American politician wrote a book like this, it would be a flyweight thing that would be sort of a written preparation for running for office. No one would be expected to take it seriously. Am I supposed to take this seriously? Who is this author in Israel? Well, I mean, it's a tiny thing, so it won't be any investiture of time to read. I will read it, but I don't know. Why nationalism about someone in the Israeli government? All right, well, anyway, that leaves us with one more box, and then we're done. So, a very varied mail haul. So let's see what we have here. Let's see. This could also be Princeton. I suppose all the boxes could be Princeton. Oh, no, this one is Oxford. Let's see. What have we got here? Okay. All right, this is part of a series. No. This is part of a series? No. Okay. All right, that's unfortunate. All right, this comes out in early February. It is by Jennifer Ratner Rosenhagen, and it is The Ideas That Made America, A Brief History. Very brief history. A tiny little thing on the ideas that made America. So this isn't part of the series. The pub sheet says 232 pages. That'll be the day. So before I read a single word about this book, I'm wondering what on earth, the ideas that made America, if you're going to expound on them in any way, if you're going to do anything more than just describe them, you're going to need 3 times this length. Well, anyway, let's see here. This is an exciting exploration of American history by way of vibrant and powerful ideas, thinkers, texts, and intellectual institutions. Long before the United States was a nation, it was a set of ideas, projected onto the New World by European explorers. From this foundation, America and American thought grew in turn, enriched by the bounties of the Enlightenment, the philosophies of liberty and individuality, the tenets of religion, and the doctrines of republicanism and democracy. Written by one of the most distinguished intellectual historians of her generation, Jennifer Ratner Rosenhagen, okay, she wasn't written by herself, takes a chronological approach beginning with the first explorers and settlers in the New World up to the 21st century. She shows how ideas have been a major force in American history, driving movements such as transcendentalism, social Darwinism, conservatism, and postmodernism. Well, how can you do that in 150 pages? How can you do that in a way that has any kind of merit or meat to it in such a short book? I guess I'll find out. Okay, so that comes out in early February, and that is short political tracts back to back. So the ideas that made America and why nationalism. Those two deceptively short political tracts back to back. That's kind of strange. Then Empires of the Week, with a bombshell of a thesis. Can't wait to get to it. Won't, in fact, wait to get to it. Then The Night Tiger, a historical novel, another historical novel to add to the pile. Black Star Renegades in trade paperback. Let's see here. Notes on a Shipwreck by Davide Enia, who is a fantastic writer. And it's a really moving book, very hard to read. Earth-shattering, but all the very violent and horrible things going on just out of arm's reach. And One Tough Cowboy by Laura Lee and Veronica Chadwick. A romance novel about a hottie all grown up. So there you go. Not exactly a Steve book in the pile, but still lots of interesting stuff. And once again, of course, I'm glad to have your company while we do it. So I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.